Someday somebody will hear me. My name is Andrew Windy Boy. I'm a Chippewa Cree. I did 2 boarding schools, one in Wapton Indian School in Wapton, North Dakota. There's Flandreau Indian School in Flandreau, South Dakota. Mid-60s to early 70s took me to the boarding school where I wasn't allowed to talk my native tongue or practice my native ways. It took me away from all of that and pushed me for talking that. It was my first language. I didn't know any other language. So whenever I talk, it came out. Cree would come out, and whenever I talk, I get hit. I got hit so much I lost my tongue. I lost my native tongue. The only thing I remember was my Indian name, which is Senukiyu, means old man eagle. That's the only Cree I knew. They beat me every day. They beat me. They cut off my hair, made me kneel in front of the door where everybody come in. Everybody make fun of me when they come by me, rub my head and laugh at me because I was talking. They caught me talking. Someday somebody will hear.
Shalom, Yashar Allah. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Chachadash, and double honors to the beloved elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to all you hopeful like Akim out there laboring that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Amar from the GMS Boise, Idaho camp, and I want to do this lesson based on this video. As you can see, this Gadite here giving his testimony on his experience in the boarding school. And if you don't know anything about the boarding school, it was pretty much their slogan was kill the Indian, save the man. They wanted to completely westernize you and Edomitize you into acting and being exactly like a white man. You know, taking out your culture. As you can see that he was beat for his for speaking his native tongue, you know, which, you know, Yashar Allah, this video just highlights how quickly a culture, a heritage, a nationality, a history, a language, a relative, family tree of your lineage can be wiped out in one generation, you know. And this just goes to show you how far we have come. And even though and it's sad to see, you know, the way that Esau treated the Gadites, you know, but we understand that we are victims of our own doings because we went off, you know, and that's why we got put in this low estate. And that's something that it's sad to see, but we understand that it's part of prophecy. You know, and I wanted to see this video, you know, and you can really see the spiritual side of it, man. Because if all brothers in this truth, you know, they know about the boarding schools, you know, but if you never heard of this, you know, it's very, you know, traumatic experience. A lot of Jake kids got sexually assaulted, you know, abused, beat up, killed, tortured, experimented on. You know, some nasty white man got a couple of them in a cage in his room just to fucking do what God knows what, you know. That's how Edom was getting down back in the day. Oh, these Gadite kids definitely will not stop talking their tongue. Well, they looks like they need some one-on-one tutoring, you know, some fucking weirdo shit, man. You know, so Jake has these testimonies, and look how, you know, I guess you could say young this Jake is, man. This is not an old video, you know. So a lot of this information is coming out and just reiterating the point of this is what happens to us when we go against Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai's commandments. This is what the Lord will bring upon us, completely taking you down to being nothing from who we were, being the top nation in the world. So there's a lot of points that I want to bring out. I'm just speaking through the Spirit right now, and I have scriptures that came to me when I was watching this video, and I had put it down to the side for notes, and I want to bring them all out to you. But this just goes to show you, man, how quickly and how harshly, and this was years after, the so-called Indian Wars ended, because the Indian Wars are from 1492 technically all the way to 1924. But the Native American Gadai Indians, it was around I believe the 1500s to almost the 1900s, around the 1600s, anyways, but it's more than 300 years of war. Esau was fighting against Gad, but the scriptures is reiterating the point that it's because we went off. The Lord told us what he was going to do. He told us what he was going to do if we went off, and we went off as a nation. Gad was out here getting wild. The northern kingdom was over here going way off, even though we held a lot of our, culture and our customs on. We had our women out with their titties out. Men were growing their hair long. Certain things, that wasn't a part of our cultures. But they kept a remnant of that, which is why they were still always dwelling in tents. They kept land Sabbaths. They had certain feast days. So we still, were connected. But ultimately, the Lord was going to strip everything away from us. And that's part of prophecy. But this is Hosea 4:1. Hear the word of the Lord Yahweh, ye children of Israel. It's Hosea, Northern Kingdom, prophet. For the Lord Yahweh hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Because if you know the history, the Northern Kingdom was going off. Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. Much so as it was, when we were over here, going off when the Lord sent Esau on the northern tribes, our people, I'm from the tribe of Issachar, so we got it almost damn near the first motherfuckers that got it, next to the island of Hispaniola, so again, man, all of Jake got their culture completely taken away from them. Hosea 4:2, by swearing, because what did we do to deserve it? We did a lot by swearing and lying and killing. Does swearing mean bad words? No. It means going contrary to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's word, law, statutes, and commandments, saying you're going to do something, going off on shit. We can go look into the more, root definition, but it's going off, man. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery. They break out and blood toucheth blood. Look at these YNs going crazy. Northern Kingdom slaughtering themselves up and down from the bottom of South America all the way up to through Mexico and the United States, man. Jake on Jake, committing adultery, killing each other, man, fucking all types of two-third behavior, man. Being straight, fucking wearing short shorts. A grown man nowadays can't wear shorts without them being damn near up his fucking nutsack, 6 inches above his knee, man. When he squats, everybody sees damn thigh tattoo and some gay shit, man. And so again, Jake going way the hell off. Isaiah 4:3. Therefore, so the Lord said, all right, that's what you're going to do? Okay. Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field. Did not the buffalo get taken out, by Esau Edom just to starve the Indian? What was the saying that General had? I can't remember the name, but he said, every buffalo killed is a dead Indian. So they hey man, the beasts of the field languished. And the fowls of heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Which is just representing, our sustenance, our able to feed our families, our able to our ability to be able to grow as a civilization, because that's all touching things that a civilization, pretty much survived and thrived on, which were natural resources, which would be fishing, hunting, etc. Resources. Yet let no man strive nor reprove another, for thy people are as they that strive with the priests. So you had Jake going against the order, man. You had Jake going against the law, statutes, and commandments. You had them going off and building idols. Like the saying goes, the as many cities as Judah had, they had gods. So Jake was creating all types of things, sneaking off to the groves, burning strange incense to Tammuz, baking cakes for Tammuz, crying to the Queen of Heaven, on and on and on and on. So don't think that Jake didn't get this complete strip of everything that they are taken away from them just because the Lord felt like it. No, we deserved it. And he gave us a straight warning, and he gave us the prophet, in this case, the prophet Hosea, to go to the northern kingdom and tell Jake, hey man, they going off. But ultimately, all Israel was hearing this message, north and southern kingdom. Verse 5, again, reiterating what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to do. Therefore shalt thou fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night, and I will destroy thy mother. Whew, that's heavy. So to the top, therefore shalt thou fall in the day, which means, hey man, plain as day, everyone's gonna see it. And the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night, which means obscureness, like darkness. You can't see where you're going. So the Lord is not going to send him a prophet to tell him to get correct, because ultimately, hey man, I'm sure, there were men that had the writings, but Yahweh Shai, had to put the spirit out there before the northern kingdom even came out, which is, after, the time until Ezekiel 37 had to take place, to when the Lord breathed the spirit into his people and the prophets again. Salakia, not all his people, but the elect, is going to get that spirit to be able to, actually, be alive, not just be a dry bone in a valley, dead and destitute. Continuing, and I will destroy thy mother. And thy mother, is the land, that sustained us, because just the previous verse before it talked about, there were a couple of verses before it talked about, what the Lord is going to take from us, which is the sustenance of the livestock. And this is the point. Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, and thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children. And that prophecy has definitely came to pass, man. We got scattered in all the four corners of the world. Our culture taken from us. Ain't no reason an Issacharite should be speaking fucking Spanish. Ain't no reason a Judite should be speaking fucking English, man. That's not our true languages. Not like these Native American languages were either. They were a broken form of Hebrew. But again, man, the point is that we had our holy tongue, the Lashawan Chodash, taken from us, which also goes into the Most High forgetting us and our children. And just to mention it and apply the scripture, it is prophecy all the way back to Genesis that this would happen. This is Genesis 49:19. Gad, which is the North American Indian. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. So ultimately, the troop that is going to overcome him, was Esau Edom, completely taking over him with the Gatling gun, the Henry repeating, lever action rifle, gunpowder bullets, cannons, all types of things. Even though Gad was a better warrior, we got taken out 90 million plus right out the gate. The first 100 years, purely off of the nasty filth, germs, smallpox, syphilis, chlamydia that Esau brought over here when he came from the old world, because he's a fucking wild caveman, a violent homosexual that came over here in 1492. This is Jeremiah, Salakia, 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage. Whew, that's heavy. From Jeremiah hearing that, man, he said, even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. Is that not applicable to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? Yes, it is. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Does that mean forever, ever? forever, ever, ever? Like the Lord is going to throw you in hell? No, we are in hell. But the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has this set curses to be upon us for a set amount of time. That's what forever means, for a certain amount of time. So don't think the Lord is always going to be mad at us because he's been promised, we've been already, Yahweh Shai has already come. We've already been promised the second covenant and new bodies are coming. And that's what we're waiting for. Our temptation, Jacob's trouble, the MOTB, spiritual powers, world chaos, natural disasters. We got to see the Leviathan, miracles, men getting spiritual powers, taking out these devils out their bunkers. The chariots, Yahweh Shai returning in the midst of World War III, the crash of the economy, purge like society. There's a lot to see in this crazy movie that we see called life, man, or the Bible, or Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai story, man, and how Yahweh has had this whole thing ordained, and we're here to proclaim it and to paint the picture a little bit more clear to those that want to learn. Continuing verse 5, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, curse be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, this is the point, and whose heart departeth from the Lord Yahweh. So keep your mind always on his ordinances, like scriptures say. Let thy mind be continually upon his ordinances. Meditate day and night. Oh man, I gotta get it. I must get it. I believe it's Sirach, the 6th chapter. At 36. Yep. It says, hey man, because we got to tell those people that are willing to hear. This is the point. Ecclesiasticus, also known in the book of Sirach, 6 and 35. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. So you have to understand, really what we're talking about when we use these different analogies, the similitudes, Salakia, to describe, in plain English what is going on right now. So, with that being said, I think I have one more, but I think, no, that was it. That was it, Yashar Allah. Hey, so Lord willing that this lesson was edifying. If brothers want to look up this video, you can say boarding school survivor tells his story. Hear our voices. Hey, man, our voices are coming from the prophets crying, sighing and crying on the highways and byways, man. Not sighing, crying, not to disregard what this Jake went through, because it's fucked up, man. Fuck Jake. And this video will make you cry, man. I remember when I first saw this, man, I got so angry. But still, man, we're out there on the highways and byways, and this is why we tell our people this, because if I was to get in front of this Jake right now, I'd tell him exactly what the truth is, and to motherfuck with the so-called white man, and that he is going to get his kingdom and his crown in the future, because he's an Israelite. So, hey, man, I give him those consoling words, and Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the elect. Till next time, I like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Chodash, and double honors to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth. And peace and salutations to all you hopeful lektakim out there laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.